Hello everybody, welcome back to Zlatan's Fight Picks. Today we will go over the UFC 288 event, Cejudo versus Sterling, for tomorrow, May 6th, Saturday, May 6th. Videos coming out a little late. Lately I've been putting out these videos on Friday. Sorry guys, it's been really busy, and this has been a large number of fights as well, so it took a while to put everything together. Nevertheless, we'll get this out really quick. Try to do this as fast as we can and go through it, make our picks, make our decisions, and go over the board. And good luck to us after that. Let's start. There's a couple of fights that were canceled, so we'll just get into from the early prelims, the ones that aren't canceled. Joseph Holmes versus Claudia Rivera. Joseph Holmes, 6'4", 80-inch reach, 8 wins, 3 losses, 27 years old. Claudia Rivera, 6'1", 77-inch reach, 10 wins, 3 losses, 30 years old. You know, there's a little bit of a reach advantage for Holmes. He fights using his reach. He likes to use the T-kick followed by his right hand. So he's a pretty good fighter, but I mean, I just can't see him winning this fight. The only way he can win this fight is to go all the way to a decision, keeping Claudia Rivera at range, you know, front T-kick, punch. I can't see him knocking out Claudia Rivera. I think Claudia Rivera is going to have the knockout. I think that's his only path to victory. I don't think Claudia Rivera is going to beat Joseph Holmes if it goes to a decision. Well, he could, but it'll be very, very close and dicey and kind of a split decision type of thing. But I see Claudia Rivera using very powerful leg kicks and powerful right hands to knock Joseph Holmes out. I think Joseph Holmes does have a path to victory, but it's got to be at range, T-kick, boxing at range. He's got a slight reach advantage, which is good, but I can't see him doing it. I think I'm going to go with Claudia Rivera. I think he's going to come in and I think he's going to knock out Holmes. And he's 0-1 so far in UFC. His first loss was the last time against Al Hassan. But I see him winning this one. There was a fight that was canceled. Zumagulov, I heard about it today, so we're not going to go over that one. Next fight, Phil Haas versus Ikram Aliskerov. Phil Haas, 6 foot tall, 77.5-inch reach, 12 wins, 4 losses, 34 years old. Ikram Aliskerov, 6 feet tall, 76-inch reach, 13 wins, 1 loss, 30 years old. Phil Haas, I mean, same height. Normally I see Phil Haas having problems with guys that are taller. Phil Haas, very powerful, great wrestler. Ikram Aliskerov, he's his first debut fight in the UFC. He's fought some decent competition. He's a Sambo fighter, Sambo wrestler, so lots of good submission, leg locks, and stuff like that. Good wrestler. Phil Haas, a good wrestler in his own right, very powerful, very fast. I was going back and forth on this one. It's going to be a really close fight. It depends who's going to implement their game plan. Phil Haas, I think his path to victory is to keep this on the feet. I think if he goes to the ground, Aliskerov has definitely better submissions on the ground, and I'd be worried about Phil Haas on the ground. But part of Phil Haas's fight a lot of the times is to take somebody to the ground, and I think that's going to be a hard habit to break. Phil Haas has to keep this fight on the feet. I think he's got an advantage in the striking. I was going back and forth. I was wondering who to pick. I was going to go Phil Haas, you know, with being able to keep it on the feet and possibly win a striking battle. But the more I thought about it and I saw some of the submissions that Aliskerov has pulled off, I really think that he's going to get it to the ground, and I think he's got pretty good submission skills. He might be able to submit Phil Haas. I think that's his only path to victory, is to submit Phil Haas. Otherwise, if it goes to the cards and these guys are on their feet going back and forth, and Phil Haas should win a decision in the striking. Nevertheless, Ikram Aliskerov will be the pick. Moving on. Next fight for the early prelims, Braxton Smith versus Parker Porter. 5'11", 72-inch reach, 5 wins, 1 loss, 33 years old. Parker Porter, 6 feet tall, 75-inch reach, 13 wins, 8 losses, 38 years old. Another really close fight. I like Parker Porter. I picked him to win last time. He got knocked out. He's the better mixed martial artist and more well-rounded. Very solid guy, but he's 38 years old. He just came off a KO. I don't know how his chin is feeling right now. Braxton Smith, he started fighting a few years ago, then he stopped, and all of a sudden he came back last year and fought 4 times or 5 times, and then basically went on this 5-0 winning streak, and now he's in the UFC. I think he's one-dimensional. He's going to go out there. He's very powerful. He's very stocky, so he's going to be throwing crazy punches, big hooks, and he's going to try and knock you out. Normally, I would bet on Parker Porter being able to withstand some of it, get in the clinch, take him to the ground, and grind him out for 3 rounds. But after seeing Parker Porter's last fight, I could see this guy touching Parker Porter. I don't know if Parker Porter's chin is going to hold out, which it would need to hold out in this fight. So I'm going to go with Braxton Smith. He is the underdog. I think he's going to get the knockout. Parker Porter does have a path to victory, is don't get knocked out and stay in the clinch and get him on the ground and grind him out for 3 rounds. But pick's going to be Braxton Smith. I think he's fighting a guy who's on his way down as far as chin-wise, can't take as much punishment. I think he's going to get hurt in this one. And Braxton Smith's going to have a KO victory and some hype behind him for the next fight. Next fight, on to the prelims. Marina Rodriguez, 5'6", 65-inch reach. Verna Van der Roba, 5'3", 64-inch reach. Marina's generally taller than everybody in this division. She uses her range well. Good front kicks, good long strikes, long jabs, long rights, long punches. She stays long. She's very well. She's very tough. She's very gritty. Verna Yan Diroba is very tough, very gritty. Her path to victory is going to be trying to take Marina Rodriguez to the ground. Marina Rodriguez does have a really good takedown defense, and when she's on the ground, she can get back up. I think Marina Rodriguez is going to win this fight. I think she's got more paths to victory. I just think she's going to be rangier, and I think Yan Diroba is going to have a hard time taking her down. I think Marina Rodriguez is going to have the ability to get back up. Verna does not have like a lot of submissions. Well, she does have submissions, but I think I don't know if she's more just lay on you and control type of person, and not giving up the position. Close fight, but going to go with Marina Rodriguez on this one. I think she's the favorite as well. Not that that means anything. Next fight, Chaos Williams versus Rolando Bedoya. Chaos Williams, 6 feet tall, 77-inch reach, 13 wins, 3 losses, 29 years old. Rolando Bedoya, 5'11", 77-inch reach, 14 wins, 1 loss, 26 years old. I mean, Chaos Williams, we've seen him fight before. He's very tough, very durable, can take great punches, can walk through punches to land his own punches. He's fairly powerful. I don't think he's super powerful, but he's fairly powerful, very consistent, very calm and cool and collected. People have a hard time taking him down. Great takedown defense. He's a hard guy to fight, and I think this guy's going to have Rolando's debut in the UFC. I think is a bad matchup for him. I've watched him fight in the couple of fights that he's had in Peru. I mean, there's nothing outstanding about this guy that I see, so I can't see him beating Chaos Williams. Yeah, it's not much to say. I just think Chaos Williams dominates this fight, so pick is Chaos Williams. Next fight, Kennedy, how do you say this word? Zechekui, African Savage, 6'5", 83-inch reach, 11 wins, 3 losses, 30 years old. Devin Clark, 6 foot tall, 75-inch reach, 14 wins, 7 losses, 33 years old. Kennedy, I love betting on this guy. He can take a punch, he absorbs all the punches, and then he comes back and he throws some great punches. He's huge for the division, very tall, very long range, pretty good takedown defense. Devin Clark. This guy's a roller coaster. You don't know which Devin Clark you're going to get. He can be he's got really powerful legs, and he can take people down. He can take anybody down. But it almost seems like more of a mental issue when he's fighting than anything else. When he's on his game, he looks unbeatable, like a contender. And when he's off his game, he just looks messed up. So he looked really good last fight, though. I mean, I don't know if he's cleaned it up. He's got a path to victory. He's got to get close. He's got to take Kennedy down. Kennedy's got a good takedown defense, but Devin Clark is very powerful. Very powerful wrestler. He can take him down. He fought another guy who was 6'4" just the last fight, and he ended up grinding out a victory in that fight, and he took him down a few times, and he won that fight. He looked great. Kennedy's path to victory, keep him at range, T-kicks, punching at range and possibly connecting and knocking Devin Clark out or going to a decision. Devin Clark has got to get inside the range. He's got powerful leg kicks. Once he gets close enough, he's got to clinch up and basically take Kennedy down. I mean, its only path to victory will be him taking Kennedy down a few times. Devin Clark doesn't have a great control game, but I mean, I think if he could take him down and land enough shots, he's going to be able to take the rounds and go to a decision against Kennedy. Kennedy is the favorite. I'm going to go with Devin Clark. It's a risk because you don't know which Devin Clark you're going to get, but he did look really good last time, and he seemed like he might be getting it together. I think Kennedy is a great fighter, but I think in this one, he's going to lose a decision, a 3-round decision. So pick his Devin Clark. Next fight. Drew Dober versus Matt Frivola. Drew Dober, 5'8", 70-inch reach, 26 wins, 11 losses, 34 years old. Matt Frivola, 5'9", 71-inch reach, 10 wins, 3 losses, 32 years old. I mean, how far do you want to go deep into this? Drew Dober, I mean, God, he last time I picked against him, he ended up taking some great shots and came back and knocked out Green. Matt Frivola, I mean, he's got power. He's a pretty good wrestler. I've seen him get knocked out, get tagged and dropped. I could see that happening in this fight. Matt Frivola is going to try to take Drew Dober down. Drew Dober's got a pretty good takedown defense. He might be able to take him down. Drew Dober probably can get back up. Punch for punch, Matt Frivola does have power. Drew Dober's chin is still strong. It doesn't look like it's fading. I mean, I would be worried about that because Drew Dober takes a lot of shots. But if he's going to take one to give one, I think Matt Frivola is going to get knocked out in this one. Pick's going to be Drew Dober. I can't see him losing against Frivola. I've seen Frivola be able to get knocked out. And sometimes actually, I shouldn't just say that because there's fights where he's taking a lot of punishment. I just don't see him taking a lot of punishment from Drew Dober. I think Drew Dober is going to be able to take a punch and knock him out. The only thing I would be concerned about is Frivola taking Drew Dober down and possibly winning a really close decision. But pick's going to be Drew Dober. Main card. Boy, we're making good time today. Let's get this done. Cron Gracie versus Charles Jourdain. Cron Gracie, 5'9", 70-inch reach, 5 wins, 1 loss, 34 years old. Charles Jourdain, 5'9", 70-inch reach, 13 wins, 6 losses, 1 draw, 27 years old. Cron Gracie's the underdog. He's great on the ground. Last fight I saw him, he had a hard time taking the other person to the ground, and it was I think it was Cub Swanson. Cub Swanson managed to keep it on the feet. He's a good jiu-jitsu guy himself. It was a really grinding type of fight. Cub Swanson won that fight, but Cron Gracie, really good dirty boxing, real good grinder, can take a lot of shots, very tough. He stopped fighting for a few years, and I think he's been gone for 4 years or something like that. So now he's back, and I don't know why he's back. I mean, obviously he's thinking he can do this. So he's trading with he's training with the Diaz brothers, and he fights like it. He's a really tough, go forward, grinding, throw a lot of shots, high volume type of fighter. But his game is the ground. He wants to take people to the ground. But I mean, the last fight I saw him, yeah, with Cub Swanson, he had a hard time with it. He couldn't get him to the ground. He did put up a competitive battle, but you know, Charles Jourdain, very good on the outside. He's well-rounded. He's good on the ground. But he's primarily a striker, so he's going to stay at range, fight at range, and do some crazy spinning back fists, flying knees, and he's gonna. I mean, he's the favorite. I just think that Charles Jourdain is not as good a fighter as Cub Swanson 4 years ago, and Cron Gracie went full 3 rounds with him. So I don't see Cron Gracie getting knocked out or anything. I think Cron Gracie has been working on his striking. I think he's going to be well matched for Charles Jourdain. I think it's going to be a close matchup. Charles Jourdain can get taken down. Cron Gracie, if he takes him down, Charles Jourdain has a problem. Not a problem, but he has a bad habit of playing off his back and not having this urgency to get back up because he's confident on the ground. I think that's a mistake, and it plays into Cron Gracie's hands. This is where I think Cron Gracie can win. I think Charles Jourdain, if he's on the ground with Gracie, is not going to be jumping back up. And I think that's when he might get caught. So I'm going to go with Cron Gracie. He is the underdog, but I'm going to go with him for the upset. Next fight, Movsar Evloev versus Diego Lopez. This Diego Lopez is a last-minute substitution. Movsar Evloev, you know, he's a good striker. He's an excellent wrestler. His whole path to victory is take you on the ground. He doesn't have great ground control, but he takes you down over and over again. He's got good submission defense. You know what? If you ever watch this guy fight, he's always got his head in to take you down, and somebody's always trying to guillotine choke this guy. And for some reason, he just, I don't know, he's got a rubber neck. Nobody can ever finish choking this guy out. Like, he just sits there and he pulls his head out, yanks. I mean, swear to God, his neck extends an inch every time he fights because of all the yanking he does to get his head out of the choke. But he gets on top, he does some good ground and pound, and he'll keep doing this over and over again. And he's a very tough guy, very durable. He's 29 years old. I see him doing the same thing over and over again. It is dangerous because this Diego Lopez kid is tall. So he's got the range, and he's very lanky, and he is a really good submission expert. I'm fairly high confidence that Movsar Evloev will win this fight. Would I bet it? No, because at minus 800, it's not worth the risk. And there is a path to victory for Lopez. He's good at chokes. He's good at submissions. Evloev is always putting himself in the choke. And if you ever watch his fights, it's over and over and over again. And he keeps getting out of every one. And I'm wondering if there's going to be one that he doesn't get out of at some point. It hasn't happened yet. But Diego Lopez could be that unsuspecting person to do it. But at minus 800, I would definitely stay away from this one. I've got it on the board, and I'll show you. If I had like a full parlay and I added Evloev, I would have a full parlay, and then I'd add Lopez instead of Evloev, just to get the huge payout if it ever did hit. Otherwise, I'd stay away from this fight. I mean, it's too risky. And if you were to play it, you'd play the underdog just because the payout is so huge. It could be worth it. But I can't see Diego Lopez winning. But there is a path to victory for Diego Lopez. And Evloev could play right into it. And it could be this one time that he gets choked out, by an unsuspecting new guy that shows up in the UFC who's got really good submissions. Yeah, Evloev's going to be the pick. I wouldn't bet on this fight. The odds are too crazy. Next fight, Jessica Andrade versus Yan Xiaonan. Jessica Andrade, 5'1", 62 inch reach, 24 wins, 10 losses, 31 years old. Yan Xiaonan, 5'5", 63 inch reach, 16 wins, 3 losses, 33 years old. I mean, this is going to be a really close fight. I think I'm going to go with Jessica Andrade on this one. And I'll tell you what, it's simple. She's got a lot to prove after her last fight. She was doing great against a really up-and-coming contender, and she got subbed with a choke. And I kept telling everybody it was the weirdest choke. She was getting up. She had no problem getting up, and she wasn't even defending her neck, and she got choked like instantly. Like it was just, anyways, it was just something didn't look right. And I think Jessica Andrade has a lot to prove right now. I think she's going to come in to win. Jan is fast. She's a good boxer. Jessica might not be as good a boxer as she is. I think she's got more power. I think Jan's got pretty good takedown defense, but I still think Jessica is going to be able to take her down. I think this is going to be going to the full rounds. It's going to be a close fight. I'm picking Jessica to win. I think she has to win this fight. I think she will win this fight. Jan is good. I just don't see her beating Jessica in this fight. I've seen her lose against other grinding, take you down type of fighters. Presumably, if she has the same takedown defense, she can get taken down. She's got pretty good takedown defense, though. Don't get me wrong. And she is training and a team alpha male, so I'd imagine they're working on her takedown defense all the time. Jessica Andrade is a little bit of a monster. She's very small, but she's very powerful. So you can train takedown defense all you want, but you get somebody who's really stout and strong and powerful, they're going to take you down. So I'm picking Jessica Andrade on this one. Next fight, Belal Muhammad versus Gilbert Burns. Belal Muhammad, 5'11", 72-inch reach, 22 wins, 3 losses, 34 years old. Gilbert Burns, 5'10", 71-inch reach, 22 wins, 5 losses, 36 years old. Whenever the fighters hit 36, I start to worry. Gilbert Burns doesn't look like he's slowing down, but at 36, some things always start to give. Some guys maybe a little later, some guys around 36, but that 36 to the 37 range is when things start to slip up. I don't see it with Gilbert Burns. I still think he's doing good enough. I think he's got one more good fight in him. Belal Muhammad, he's the type of guy you always seem to underestimate. His striking and his jabs have really improved, and he's very unassuming. And that's what happened with the last fight. I actually bet on him in the last fight. But this fight, I can't see him beating Gilbert Burns. I think Belal Muhammad, who normally comes forward with the jab, it's going to be a style. Well, Gilbert Burns comes forward. Who's gonna win that come forward battle? Belal Muhammad does have a decent jab. Gilbert Burns is fairly quick. He's got a pretty good jab. He's got good striking. I think he's going to be faster. I think when it comes to being on the ground, I think Muhammad's going to have a hard time taking Gilbert Burns to the ground. I think on the ground, Gilbert Burns, of course, has the advantage. I can't see Belal Muhammad winning this fight. I think Gilbert Burns is going to be the guy to stop the Muhammad train for a little bit. And Gilbert Burns is going to have a shot at the title. Yeah, style-wise, I think I'm picking Gilbert Burns. Main event, Aljamain Sterling versus Henry Cejudo. Aljamain, 5'7", 71-inch reach, 22 wins, 3 losses, 33 years old. Henry Cejudo, 5'4", 64-inch reach, 16 wins, 2 losses, 36 years old. Again, Henry Cejudo, he's been out of the fight game for a while, so he hasn't been taking any damage. But he's coming back. I don't think he's coming back because he thinks he's going to lose. I think he's coming back because he thinks he's going to win. So, and he's very cerebral. He's very smart. He's very talented. Again, 36 years old. This is about the time that you have to start to worry about who's coming back. Is Henry Cejudo coming back from 3 years ago? When was he fighting last? Was it 3 years ago or even longer? 4 years ago. Or is it Henry Cejudo, 36-year-old Henry Cejudo? You don't know. And I'm thinking because he hasn't been taking any damage, he's going to still be roughly the same guy. But it's about this time that he does people start to slip up physically. He's going to have a reach disadvantage. It's going to be a big one too. 7-inch reach disadvantage, height disadvantage, and everything else. But I don't think this is the first time Cejudo has had a disadvantage in height. He's not generally the tall fighter. So I think that part he can work around. Aljamain Sterling, he's very talented. I mean, what's his path to victory? I mean, I don't even like this guy, tell you the truth. I mean, there was a time I didn't like Henry Cejudo, but I don't like Aljamain Sterling, especially after the fights. He's always backpacking people. Oh, I'm going to backpack you. I'm going to backpack you. It's the shittiest way to win. He's a terrible guy to watch fight. I hope he loses. So, I mean, he's always backpacking everybody, and everyone's like, "Oh, I'm gonna backpack you," and then he's waving, and he's got good control when he gets you on the back. He's got great control, but it's just a shitty way to watch a fight, and you hate to. I don't like seeing people win like that. He's a little bit of a douchebag at times. Henry Cejudo, I mean, never been a huge fan of Henry Cejudo, but watching his old fights, against Mighty Mouse and everything else. Mighty Mouse is a smaller, shorter fighter like him. But I don't think Aljamain Sterling is faster than Mighty Mouse. And I think so. The speed is not... I think Henry Cejudo is going to be faster. I think Henry Cejudo fights are very much almost like a karate style. So I think Aljamain Sterling is going to have a hard time getting in close. Cejudo is a wrestler. I don't think Sterling's going to be taking him down. I think Cejudo might be taking him down, or he might stay on the feet. Again, Cejudo might have the speed advantage here. The reach will go to Aljamain Sterling. It's going to be a good fight. I'm picking Henry Cejudo to win. I don't know why. I just have this feeling that with his style and him coming back, I think that he's got a good style to fight Aljamain Sterling. I think he's a great wrestler. I think he's faster than Aljamain Sterling. And I think he's going to win this fight. And I hope he does, because Aljamain Sterling probably deserves to lose. So, pick's gonna be Henry Cejudo. It's a pick'em fight, so it's -110. So basically, they're both favorites. They're both underdogs. It's equal. Let's go over the board real quick. Oops, sorry guys. All right, let's see if that works. How's it looking? Oh, it's a little low, eh? That's weird. There we go. There we go. That's good. Let's do this in order of most confident to least confident. 60% I got Jude Ober as most confident. I think he's going to win by knockout. Ivloev, I mean, he could have been there too, but he's right up there. Most confident, again, -800. I would put this in the wild card thing. If I was to do a parlay, I wouldn't even bet on this fight because the payouts are so small, it just doesn't even make any sense. But if I did a full parlay, I would put Ivloev in it, and then I would do the same full parlay with Lopez in it, just to see the crazy numbers you get. But that's what I would do. Otherwise, I would stay away from this fight as a bet. But that's the range where I put him in. I put him in the higher range of winning for sure. Next one, Williams. Again, pretty big favorite, but well deserved. He should win this fight. Still, I would still put him in my parlay, just because, even though it's -3-3, just because the combination would help out. I think he's got a high chance of victory. Again, Gilbert Burns is pretty high up. I think he's going to win this one at 57%, 56%. Henry Cejudo is kind of in the upper tier, so I think he's going to win this against Sterling. I hope he does. Maybe it's me just hoping. But I think he's going to win this. I think he's going to be faster as long as he comes in like Henry Cejudo from 4 years ago, and not a 36-year-old Henry Cejudo that's maybe a little slower. If he comes in that fast, he can do this. And he's very smart, and he's a very cerebral fighter. So I think that I think he's in the head of Sterling, that's for sure. Sterling getting all mad and hates on him, and I think that's part of Cejudo's game. He's already in the head of Sterling. We'll see what happens. Rivera, he's at 55%. I'm pretty sure he's going to beat John Holmes. Was it Joe Holmes? Joseph Holmes, yeah. So fair high degree of confidence on that one. Then we're going on to the women. Women haven't gotten. I put the women right at the back, but I kind of in the last part of my confidence, and I've kind of got the 50% plus right at the end. So I got the women here. I got Rodriguez at 54%, Andreas at 53%, and now we're going down to the Russian Alaskarov to win at 52%. And I got my 3 underdogs here. Clark, followed by Cron, Gracie, followed by Smith. He's got the hardest path to victory, I think, but he's got the knockout chance to win that fight. So these are the picks. Again, not financial advice. Only bet what you can afford to lose. You can take this as part of a parlay, a whole parlay. That's the confidence. I usually bet where I bet 1, then I go to 2, then I go to 3. So I have multiple parlays to go, which get larger and larger. And that way, as my least confident, in case my least confident picks don't come out, then my most confidence do pay out. In this case, the most confidence, unfortunately, are such huge favorites that, you know, it takes a while to get some decent money out of these guys. You could bet them individually, and then if we hit most of them, then we're going to come out ahead. So you can bet them individually, or you can take in combination of anything you like. Take what I've said and maybe do your own research and figure out who you want to take on and who you agree with my analysis for and who you don't agree with and take out. But yeah, I mean, take it as you want to take it. I do have a link in the description for Bet Online, 50% deposit match. If you want to do Bet Online, they have the most prop bets out of anyone. Again, eventually I'll go into more prop betting, but at this point I'm just going to straight up wins. I mean, Rivera would be a good prop bet for win inside the distance, because if he doesn't, he should win inside the distance against Joseph Holmes. And if it goes to a decision, whether he wins or loses, your money comes back. So that would be a good prop bet on Bet Online, is win inside the distance. That would be a really good one right there. Also, have a link in the description for Buy Me a Coffee. If you like my content, like and subscribe, and you'll get notifications when the videos are up. And if you'd like to buy me a coffee, feel free to buy me a coffee. I love coffee. Keeps me going. Other than that, turn this around. How's that looking? Good? All right. That's it for the evaluation for UFC 288. Thank you very much for joining me. Good luck, everybody. We'll do the recap video next week, and hopefully we've got some good news. So thank you very much for joining me again. We'll see you next week.